Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're really happy to have you today for this new webinar of Hiphen, which is titled How Can Digital Phenotyping Support Product Performance Evaluation?
Yes, so I am Alexandra. I am an R&D project manager at Hiphen, and today I'm with Alexis, our CEO and founder of Hiphen. As you may know, at Hiphen, we transform agricultural images into very valuable phenotypic data, and we work with a lot of different images that were acquired with all types of devices, so drones, satellites, phenomobiles, smartphones, and so on and so on. Today at Hiphen, we're a team of about 20 active experts. This is to say we have a lot of IT scientists, but also for sure agronomists.
So what is the scope of this webinar? This webinar really wants to focus on one specific categories of Hiphen customers, which are people that are making research trials for product experiments, for product evaluation. Um, we define product evaluation as a comparison to breeders and breeding trials, which are much more massive. Let's be a little bit more clear. When you make a trial that is between 20 to 100 plots, and where your plots can be between 1 hectare to less than 1 meter square, this for us is product evaluation. It means you're trying to evaluate a chemical product, a cultivar, or to evaluate farm practices for farmers by examples in a way where you're going to have few modalities and a lot of repetition. It's really different when we speak about the need of breeders that are having tens of thousands of plots and that will try to look at the most efficient cultivars. Evaluating cultivars is also used, but as we will see, it's not necessarily done by the same actors. Generally, when you want to assess cultivars, it's the agro-processing or agro-production companies that will look at which are the most suited cultivars out there for their use in very specific fields. Product evaluation can be also made by crop protections for chemicals, seed breeders that want still to evaluate their best elite cultivars in different farming practices or with different chemicals, and also with farmers. What is really interesting there is that there is a lot of stakeholders that are going to make those types of trials. It can be done within your company, whatever company you're having. Most of the time, it's externals for CROs. And today, it's become more and more uh, important to also externalize it to farmers so that they can evaluate your product in their situation with their farming practices. And today, there is a will, I think, that is stronger and stronger from all of you here, of the people that hears us today, to do more on-farm experiments, to try to have the farmer part of all the innovations you're making in product evaluation. Those used can, of course, be thus very different from product certifications to marketing. All the product evaluation trials should be used for marketing to customers. I'm not sure they're all. And also to calibrate some management tools, indeed, knowing which is my best practices and when should I use this modality or this modality in my field at what time. All those trials today, um, the data, the resulting data is very well centralized. But during the campaign, the data that is being captured is not necessarily very well centralized between the different stakeholders, whether it's your company, CROs, farmers, etc. What we propose, and only for high-throughput phenotyping traits, is to centralize all this data at one end. All this data can be drone data, satellite data, phenomobile, smartphone data. We will explore some use cases with each of those systems later on, and can be given and can be given access in real time to farmers, to your customers, to your field operators, to your manager, whatever is the use case and the question you're trying to answer. And of course, this data can be easily downloaded or through APIs transmitted to your centralized database you use for further analysis outside of Hiphen. And so basically, from our understanding of the community, today there's not much decisions and there's not much understanding that is happening on most of the trail before harvest. So there is indeed some manual validations, there is some field visits to evaluate the quality of the trails. There's the customers of CROs that goes and visit all those fields, but there's nothing really centralized where everyone can have access to it. And basically, all the information from the product is being understood after harvest, and most of the time focusing on yield. By having high throughput phenotyping with sensors before, it allows you to be understand to know what is happening in your field during the season, before harvest most of the time. Let's take the example of a biostimulant. What you want to know is my biostimulant stimulating, by example, the quantity of leaves I'm making? You don't necessarily want to know if it's going to have an impact of yield, because your trail can have other limiting factors like a disease or water that is going to have a stronger impact on yield. Thus, there's two questions you want to answer. The first one is my product having an effect when I'm applying it? But also, is this product having an impact on yield? And sometimes the answer can be yes, no. Sometimes it can be yes, yes. It really depends about the limiting factors. Those limiting factors, you already collect them, but it's important to really understand during the season how behave your product, in my opinion, to take better decisions and to start strategizing before harvest and not to do everything in a hurry. And I think that's really the added value we are already providing to some of our customers, is really this timely way to collect, process, and restitute data to all the stakeholders of your experiments. So, in details, how and what can we assess with high-throughput phenotyping tools? Alexandra?
As I've already told you, at Hiphen, we use a lot of different devices, but we use also a lot of different sensors to collect plant data. So, for example, RGB cameras, multispectral cameras, thermal cameras, and so on and so on. And for sure, with all these different sensors and devices, we can compute a high diversity of different traits. So today we cannot cite all of them. This is why I want you to show you some examples. So for example, if you have a large field with plots of about 300 square meters, thanks to satellite data, you can know how efficient your nitrogen fertilizer is. So for example, in the first place, you can have a global view of your trial, but you can also see the differences between modalities and quantify them. Then when you have a standard drone, you can monitor the impact of your product on plant emergence. So this is to say, you can count the different plants after emergence. You can also see if there are gaps between plants. So this is to say that a plant or several plants did not emerge. And you can also, for example, evaluate border effects between different plots. Then if you have a high resolution drone, you can either see how efficient your product, if it's seed coating or whatever product, is at a plant level. As you can see in the picture, you can detect each plant individually. For example, then compute the vegetation surface per plant in square meters. And note also that the weeds are excluded from this computation. Then maybe you want to know how your treatment fares against a disease. So here, for example, Cercospora on sugar beet. So for this, normally you need very detailed and high-resolution images that you can acquire by a PhenoMobile, for example. Then there are also different handheld devices that exist. So, for example, a stick that you can hold in your hands, and you can walk through your field to see how your seed coating or other products boost, for example, early vigor. Then maybe you want to use a smartphone, or at least in this use case, when you want to quantify aphids on leaves. For sure, they're really small, so a drone will not have enough resolution to see the small aphids on the leaves. So for this, a smartphone might be the best device.
And so basically, all those traits for all the problem you have can be computed using Cloverfield. Generally, what we do with our customers is we will discuss with you initially on which type of traits you want in order to answer your scientific questions, and you will have a really user-friendly interface allowing you to upload the data. We will process this data then, put it accessible quickly into our interface, the results, so that they can be available to all the stakeholders of your project. And that's really cool, I guess. You will be able to access all the traits one by one at different dates. And also you will be able to access to some analytics, which are not meant to be deep analytics, because we lack a lot of data to be able to make sense of it as you're able to do it in your organization. This being said, you will be able to know in one glimpse if it's worth to spend the time and energy to make all those analytics works. And finally, you can download or through APIs, you can come and pull or push like you want the data to your databases automatically to make sure that the process is seamless for you. So there is examples where we can make ANOVA on your field trials if you're having enough repetitions to be able to see if one product is having a specific impact. We can look at different experiments you made, how they behaved one with the other in a very quickly way. And for that, we are making what we call interactive reports. So the interactive report is reports where you can change the different modalities, change different informations to be able to have to display the data in a way that allows you to make decisions. And that's really the objective of those interactive reports, is to make you take decisions during the campaign in advance before you're having your yield, to know a little bit what to expect. So how can you get started, Alexandra?
So this is really easy. The first thing that you need to know is the traits, the different plant characteristics that you are interested in. And once you've chosen them, just come and speak to us, because we will advise you which device, which sensor you might need for your special use case. Then we will give you a very detailed acquisition protocol so that you can acquire your images on your own, or maybe you would like that we do it for you. And then what you need to do is only upload your images to Cloverfield, and we will take care of all the rest. So this is to say, we will analyze the images, we will compute the results, and we will push them back to Cloverfield or into your database. And you can, well, visualize your results, but also some analytics. Most of our customers want to start digital plant phenotyping by using a drone. So this is why we created a drone implementation plan, which consists of several steps. So throughout all this process, we are here to help you, to tell you step by step what you need to do. So the first phase consists in just identifying the different stakeholders. who will fly the drone, who will manage the project, and so on and so on. After this, you need to know over which fields you wish to fly, and you need also to know if you can fly a drone over this field, because sometimes it's too close to an airport and you're not able to fly with a drone over this field. Then for sure, you also need to train your drone pilots. For this, we have the Hiphen Academy. So this is our e-learning platform where you can learn step by step how to acquire really the best images with a high quality necessary for agricultural image analysis. At the last step, you also need to buy the flight equipment. And then you will start with phase 3, which will recur every year. So this is to say you need to define the project's modalities, you need to, well, take care of all the legal stuff. Then you need to plan the season, and for sure also the agenda of the pilot. You will acquire the data. We will analyze the images so that you can, in a very timely manner, visualize the traits so that you can take the best decisions for the next year.
So basically, what we're trying to do at Hiphen is really this, is in the high throughput, in the phenotyping space, in a high throughput way, we want to give you access to the data, to good data with good interoperability and good centralization of this data. Once again, we are only specialized in plant measurements and plant evaluation. A product evaluation project you are having is way broader than that. And we don't have the ambitions to do everything. But what we're doing, we have the ambition to do it well, to doing it in a timely manner, in order for you to save time, to improve your labor efficiency. I don't know if you will reduce your labor, but for sure it will be more efficient, it will do more things, and will allow you to collect more information and to scale up. Hiphen is really a company designed to scale, which means when you're having many fields in many different parts, in many regions, many countries, many continents even, and to be able to centralize all this data in one place. We're not always well fitted for very, very small projects where you just have one troll and one flight. So maybe the take-home message is, finally, there's some professional solutions that are now available to allow you to do high throughput phenotyping for plant product evaluation, and we hope it will deliver a lot of value to you to be more efficient, faster, because we are having, as a community, as the agricultural community, huge challenges ahead with global warming, but also with the current situation and some countries not able to produce as much as they should. And we really hope that we would bring our little brick to this edifice of efficiency in our community.